So you are the son of legendary Josh McDowell, and you're a father yourself. And what lessons have you learnt from your dad, and what advice would you give on raising children in the Christian faith and the role of apologetics in this?
Boy, there's a lot of things I've learned from my dad. I think he's probably best known for a statement that the older I get, more and more I think it's true. He says, rules without relationships leads to rebellion. One of the things that makes my dad unique as an apologist is he's written books, like you said, Evidence That Demands a Verdict, More Than a Carpenter, The Resurrection Factor. These are truth books. But he's also written books on families, how to have relationships with your kids, called the hero title. I'm forgetting. My dad, if he saw this, he would kill me. The hero, how to be a hero to your kids.
Okay.
And he's also written some on sexuality. So he's done what he calls relational apologetics and more historical, logical apologetics. Biblically, we are to speak truth in relationships. In the incarnation, Jesus comes down in relationship, but he is truth. It's both. And uniquely, my father has exemplified and taught both of those. So when I'm raising up my kids, I realize I need to teach my kids truth, but I have to do it in the context of relationships. Kids don't respond to rules. They respond to rules in the context of a relationship when they know they're loved and cared for. So for me, one of the ways I try to do this with my kids is I spend a ton of time. I mean, to be honest with you, Saturday morning, my daughter wanted to have a 5:30 in the morning Saturday volleyball workout because she's in 8th grade and she wants to play varsity and play college. And I'm like, that is the last thing I want to do. But I got up because I could drive my daughter there. I could watch her and just show her that I sacrifice for her and love her. So when we have conversations, it's often driving somewhere. It's often at the dinner table. I'm relationally spending time with my kids, but looking for time to have thoughtful conversation and engage them with ideas. That's one of the best things I took away, I think, from my dad.
Yeah, it's amazing. And do you always spend kind of time together at the dinner table, or do you go out as well to restaurants? And
well, I would be not telling the truth if I said we always have family dinners, because I have 3 high school kids at home. Okay. And they're going to youth group, they're going to volleyball practice, football practice, basketball practice, my 8-year-old. So I would say we consistently have meals together, and we carve that out, and that's a discipline that we value. We go out to eat sometimes. It's expensive, but in California right now, like, stuff is shut down, so that's a whole nother dynamic. Yeah. But bottom line, I would say, is we consistently have meals together and carve out that time just to be together. And I don't sit down and always have a formal devotional with my kids. Sometimes I'll sit down and I'll share something with them at the dinner table. More often than not, I'll just be like, hey, I saw this TikTok video. What you guys think about it? And we have a conversation. Or I saw this article. This is going in the news. And we just discuss it. My kids are used to that kind of conversation.
What about things like discipline? About discipline in children?
I guess I would go back to this, rules without relationships leads to rebellion.
Yeah.
So if you discipline your kid without relationships, it's going to lead to rebellion or rejection. So, I'm not going to say my wife and I discipline perfectly, but our goals are that we have a discipline that matches, the punishment match the crime, so to speak, for lack of a better term. We try to be fair with our kids. And we try to be consistent. Am I always consistent? Probably not, for whatever reason. Yeah. But that's our goal. To try to do is, if our kids think something we do or give is really unreasonable, we will hear them out. And sometimes I'll say, you know what, that's fair. Other times I'll say, I hear where you're coming from, but sorry, I'm the dad. Here's what's going to go. So for us, I'll give you, maybe this will help picture it. My daughter's 13, probably coming up on 13, and she's 13 and a half years old. She does not have a smartphone. And she is one of the only people in our Christian school and of her friends that doesn't have one. And the reason is because here's my formula. Social media plus teenage girls equals bad. It's not good for girls. So I think a lot of the reasons parents just give in and do this is they don't want to fight the battles and they don't want to discipline their kids. And at times I've certainly given in because I don't want to fight those battles. But we want to fight the right battles, and we want to lovingly give our kids boundaries and discipline.
Yeah.
And hope if it's done relationally in the big picture of the things, they'll understand why.